Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Hub Director Reflections on 2023. My name is Ebele Anidi, and I am the Director of Partnerships and Engagement for the G20 Global Innovation Hub. Today, my co-director and I are going to be offering our reflections on the year now past, and also shedding some light on our aspirations for the year ahead. So before we move forward, let me pass the mic to my co-director, Terrina Govender.
Thanks, Ebele. Hi, everybody. My name is Terrina Govender, and I lead policy at the Global Innovation Hub. We've had quite a busy year, and so we wanted to take this time to really reflect and feed back all the things we've done. So, my first question for you, Ebele. Looking back at 2023, what are some of the achievements that you're most proud of that we accomplished at the Hub?
I think we were incredibly successful this year in really expanding our engagement portfolio. So I think, you, me, Dr. Reem, we were traveling all over the world at different points of the year. But, specifically, even looking back to the spring, we were involved in this really unique hackathon event in April with our partners at the Health Systems Innovation Lab, Movement Health, FGV, and a number of other partners in Latin America. We came together to support innovators on the ground who are really delivering those unique solutions to try to address and really push the needle towards developing and cultivating high value health systems in the region. We had the Global Health Exhibition that was here in Riyadh that I thought was, we not only used to launch our landmark report on high value health systems, but I thought I had the chance to moderate a few panel discussions with thought leaders from around the world who are really at the forefront of pushing into future trends in health and healthcare. And then I think throughout the year, we were invited to contribute our expertise and experience and knowledge, not just value-based care, but of the G20 as well. And, Dr. Reem was part of an expert panel at ICHOM this year in Barcelona. And then I had the chance to go to Johannesburg and
Yeah.
contribute to the Africa Health and DABA, in addition to going to Barcelona actually as well, and really learning more, contributing to a workshop, an action workshop for the Human Immunome Project. And so across the board, in addition to the events, we continue to have a really healthy relationship with our membership in our bilaterals with different countries. And then on top of that, we were excited to welcome the Republic of South Africa, of our newest member of the hub. And so, again, I think on the engagement side, that was really fruitful this year. On the partnership side, we continue to have really healthy relationships with members of our advisory committee, like the WHO and the OECD. We've also expanded that global network to include academic experts like Professor Elizabeth Teisberg in Austin, Texas, Dr. Sally Lewis in Wales. And then we have also expanded that network to include other international organizations who are contributing to our work. So the Global Surgery Foundation, the Rockefeller Foundation, and PATH. And I think PATH actually connects to my last and maybe most significant achievement and of the year, which was our Hub Innovation Series. And so, you and I worked on this together to think about how we could bridge that gap between our global membership and innovators on the ground who are developing new policies, programs, research that are really moving the needle to address some of the most pressing health challenges, from primary health care to climate change to cancer treatment. And so I'm excited, we recorded quite a few episodes this year. So I'm excited to get those out there and share those with a global audience in 2024. So I think those were really the highlights of the year for me. But, turning it to you, Terrina, I would be curious to know what were some of the achievements that you're most proud of when you reflect on 2023.
Yeah, no, thank you. I totally agree with everything that you've covered. We've had a very busy year. And part of that busyness was driven by our deep involvement in the G20 Health Working Group and the Joint Finance and Health Task Force. And so this year, we were an invited member, an invited international organization to contribute as technical experts to the G20 Health Working Group and the Joint Task Force. And it was incredible to spend time in India to contribute to a really meaningful agenda in health and ultimately help contribute to the outcomes that the Indian presidency put out and the declaration that we all ratified. In addition to what we did in India, as part of the official agenda, we did contribute to several side events, including with digital health, with global vaccine research, and across the board, it was so fruitful to travel to these places to meet different people who are working on significant global health challenges and actually be a technical expert and contribute to the thinking and the doing that's going on. Um, From a knowledge production point of view, I'm really proud of the two publications that we put out this year. You alluded to it, but we launched a landmark study with the Harvard University that focused on high value health systems. And this included a new framework, a totally novel framework that looks at health systems and transitioning health systems to high value using 10 key components. And I can't go without saying a big thank you to our G20 membership, who was such an integral part of creating that work and making it really meaningful and bringing it alive with the case studies. The launch event at the Global Health Exhibition was wonderful. We invited Professor Rifat Atun from Harvard University to give a keynote, and several members across our G20 membership and from the private sector and academia. And that was incredibly well received. From the other perspective, annually we produce a G20 perspective that links the health working group agenda to value-based care. And this year, value-based care was so intrinsically linked to basically everything that we spoke about across the Indian agenda. And so that basically wrote itself, and we've had really incredible feedback.
Yeah. And I guess, there's an element here around as we reflect on this past year. I actually am thinking about some of the surprises that came through, and you know as I think about what we both just discussed and shared, I think one surprise for me was really around this increase in our exposure. We really, I think we continue, we're a think tank. We actively want to play a role in accelerating this global, not just conversation, but
Yeah.
actual transformation towards value-based care. And so across our knowledge products, the new partners we've expanded to are the events that we were involved in. It's very clear to me, and I think to our members too, who have shared similar feedback, that we're growing our presence
Mhm.
as thought leaders, as trusted experts in the space of value-based care. And I think and I hope that we can continue to do that in the coming year ahead. And so, I'm curious for you as well. I mean, we've both offered our own kind of main reflections on this past year. What are you excited about, or what are you really looking forward to in 2024?
We've got a really busy 2024, but I think the thing that really stands out is that Brazil's taken over the G20 presidency this year, and they have set forth an incredibly ambitious agenda with some very key flagship outcomes. And so I'm very excited for us to contribute to that. We have a session in Salvador that will happen in June. We will both be there. And yes, to contribute to what they're working on in terms of climate change, in terms of health equity, in terms of pandemic preparedness. There's so much that needs to be done. And they look like they have a really solid agenda and a really good set of outcomes that they're pushing towards. So that would be my main thing that I'm looking forward to for the hub.
Awesome. Yeah, I agree with you 1,000%. I'm looking forward to what lies ahead as Brazil takes on the presidency. And
Mm.
as you named yourself, they've set a very ambitious agenda. And I think for the Global Innovation Hub, we're excited to identify and clarify where and how we can best support the achievement of some of the very ambitious but necessary outcomes that they've set for this presidency. So, I mean, I think at this point, I want to extend a note of thanks to everyone who's tuned in for our reflections. Obviously, so grateful for the partnership that I have, at the hub itself with you, Terrina, and Dr. Reem. And I think, we've had such a successful and impactful
Mm.
2023, and I'm incredibly excited to see where the hub goes in
Yeah,
2024. And so, to everyone who's joined, thank you for taking the time to listen to our reflections, and we hope to continue to engage with you in our global network of partners in the coming year. Happy New Year.
amazing. Thanks, Abella.